it's going to have major impacts to the village of Woodbury. So anything that you could put in writing, if there's a speaking period, I don't know if we could show up somewhere.
There is a public hearing. It's available on the DEC's website. I know that H2M and myself will be reviewing it and providing comments, making sure that they're okay with the mayor prior to submitting them. So certainly if any of the board members have comments, if you're not submitting them, you can send them to us and we can try and incorporate those as well if you've done them.
I think it's going to be power in numbers because they seem not to adhere to any of the violations. Nothing has stopped the developers from, I know, Mr. Mendelson, you've done extensive research on who and who owns the underlying LLC, but it just doesn't seem that the monetary fines really deter them, so I don't know what else to do other than numbers, people showing up. The other point I wanted to make was I was not able to attend the last village board meeting, but I did hear lots of comments and commentary around lifting the building moratorium, which again was alluded to tonight. I really do encourage the new board members, including, I know Vic and Sue, you've already done your homework, but Trustee Fabro and Trustee Fryband, to do your due diligence as to why it was implemented when it was. For us not to be able to meet the minimum required demand if one of our wells were to go out is huge. And it's a huge risk. And I understand the need to want to move forward and allow for people to build the way they want to build. But it's also a level of responsibility as trustees that you have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that if one of our water sources were to be taken offline, which is not that far off base considering the shortages we've had over the last several years, to understand fully what you're asking for and why it was implemented to begin with. It wasn't a decision that was taken lightly. It took our board over 18 months to come to that conclusion after former trustee Chris Graziano literally demanded studies to be done. And I know trustees, I don't know if anybody's actually studied these studies, sit down with the engineers, get a synopsis of worst case scenarios, because if something were to happen, if you were to lift the moratorium, the ramifications are tremendous. Once you lift the floodgates, there is no going back. So please consider what you're asking for, and I understand why, but there's a reason why it was done and why it was continued for as long as it has been. Thank you.
Just to follow up on the Clovewood public hearing, just so you know, it's virtual, and it's Wednesday, April 3rd at 2 p.m. and at 6 p.m., and the links and the access codes and everything are available on the DEC's website.
Thank you both. Kelly, you have any other comments? No. Okay.
Rob spoke tonight, so I don't want to take
Village Treasurer Potvin, you have more comments.
I forgot that shockingly there will be an election on April 2nd. It's a Republican primary for president. And I know it seems like a waste of money since there's only one candidate currently, but we still have to hold and by we, I mean the county, has to hold the election still. So the Republican primary will be held on April 2nd from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. All 3 polling locations will be open. I'm sure they'll be crazy busy. That's sarcasm. And there is early voting, just not on Easter. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for that bit of bad news.
And let's give it a hand for the highway department. They did a great job this season.
Yeah. I am legally obligated to say at every meeting that we have the best dosh-gone highway department in Orange County. You see that? You started me on this path. Village Clerk McClendon, you got anything? Okay, moving on to board comments, starting with Trustee Fryband.
Yeah.
There's a delay when you turn it on. There's a good, it'll take a minute to connect on and then it'll come in.
I want to start by saying that I definitely agree with Maria Hunter on the issue of the intersection and speed limits. That's why I was hoping that the board would put into writing the request to the county, because by putting it in writing and having it a record, things tend to get done because there's a liability that goes when these kinds of safety issues are pointed out. Again, I would appreciate it if the board would authorize that writing to the county highway department. Other than that, the other thing I was concerned about is some comments by Mr. Eng about this local law that we considered and will consider again the right of entry. What is permitted is exigent entry. That's the state law, and I believe that's what the language used in this. So the fire department doesn't have to worry about going into a house and having a warrant. They never have, and they never will. Nor are the police prohibited from saving lives by entering a building. That has never been part of the statute that we're talking about. This statute is an accurate representation of the state law on how we gain entry for these administrative zones. If the fire department goes in and finds a lot of drugs, none of that is admissible as evidence. That's why exigent is a defined term. So there's no threat to the homeowners on this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Trustee Farrelly. Deputy Mayor Farrelly.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I just have a couple of public service announcements. I know there was talk about to be doing a food drive on the shredding day, but what the Knights of Columbus is also currently doing a 40 cans for Lent at St. Patrick's. So any dried or canned food that you have, please bring over to St. Patrick's. We have boxes there, and by the time we're stocking, you'll be picking up, so it's going to kind of go hand in hand. Also, we're having a blood drive right here at Village Hall on April 27th from 9 to 1. So, and this is going to be in memory of Mike Hansen, in honor of Andrew Dumas. So, again, please, if you can make it, donate blood. The Hudson Valley and all of New York State is in dire need of blood. And you guys all know the saying, 1 pint of blood saves 3 lives. So please try and come out and donate if you can. And Mr. Mayor, that's my comments.
Thank you, Trustee. Or Deputy Mayor Farrelly. Trustee Suriello.
First, I'd like to just reiterate and thank Rob for working with both the village and the town to initiate and secure the funding for the bridge replacement and the temporary bridge that we have. Second, because it's near and dear to my heart, I'd like everybody to know about the upcoming musicals that we have in our community. Right now at the middle school, it's tonight, but we missed that one. Tomorrow at 7, Saturday at 2 at 7, we have Little Shops of Horrors at the Monroe Woodbury Middle School. At the Cornwall Middle School, they're doing The Wizard of Oz tomorrow at 6:30 and Saturday at 11 and 3. And just a little in the future, we have Cornwall High School doing Something Rotten, which is a fabulously funny play. So if you want a good laugh, I suggest you go see it. And that is on April 11th to the 13th at 7 p.m. and April 14th at 2 o'clock. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Suriello. Trustee Fabro.
Oh boy. I have a number of comments for tonight. First, I should have commented on this earlier when we were discussing Clovewood, but I would like to reflect my views on it. I strongly agree. It was the signing of a letter to authorize the Village of Woodbury to comment concerning the Clovewood project and the impact it will have on Woodbury. As was referenced before, those developers have ignored multiple stop work orders from the DEC, and they were fined, and it still didn't stop some of the issues there. This project will increase traffic coming for Woodbury, and sadly, it's already impacted the surrounding area around Sconey-Muck Mountain State Park, and our village board's letter, I would hope, would reflect these concerns. Secondly, regarding Woodbury's water supply, I would like to reiterate that I support the continuation of the moratorium, and based off of Superintendent Phillips' comments from the last board meeting, until our well-experienced staff and contractors say we have enough water and our new well is online, I will defer to their advice. On a personal note, I've lived in Woodbury my entire life. My main motivation for running for public office was to serve the people of Woodbury and to help preserve Woodbury and the quality of life we have here, and I was very gratified, even though it was a small parcel of land, that we were able to do that tonight. And this will follow a series of announcements I have. First off, I'd like to offer my sincere condolences to the family of Fran Jack. As was said by the mayor, she was the heart of the Parks Department and the soul. And a happy Ramadan to all who celebrate. And happy St. Patrick's Day that's coming up as well. And reminders that the PBA will be holding their, the Woodbury PBA will be holding their annual egg hunt at Earl Reservoir. That's going to be March 23rd at 10 a.m. I believe that starts. And shout out once again to Rob with the electric shredding. Please attend his event. Also, the Climate Smart Committee, to which I am liaison, has a number of events coming up in April. The first of which is the Woodbury Clean Energy Campaign launch. This is going to be Saturday, April 6, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 11:45 at the Woodbury Senior Center. And that's going to be mainly presentations about solar, geothermal energy, things like that, electric cars. Followed by that, we're going to have the Woodbury Repair Cafe. That's going to be April 13th, 2024, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That will be here at Village Hall in this room. And we're going to be able to help repair, we're collecting used bikes, and we're repairing various wood items. We're collecting e-waste. If we can, we'll repair people's computers and things like that. Yeah, and in addition to that, at the same time, oh, I already said the bikes, sorry. The final item I have is, and this is a while from now, November 9th, there's going to be a polar plunge at Earl Reservoir to raise funds for the Special Olympics. The links can be found online. I'm sure they'll start popping up on Facebook and on the board and town pages. And that concludes my comments for tonight, and thank you all for attending.
Thank you, Trustee Fabro. So I would be remiss if I didn't begin by thanking you all for coming to our 2024 marathon meeting. Can't wait for the next one, 2 hours long. So let me begin by passing on my condolences to the family of Bill Canavan. Bill has been our main contact for Hydro Environmental Solutions and has appeared at various meetings to inform and also entertain at various meetings virtually. And he wasn't entertaining, always entertaining. He was someone who could dumb down well construction to the simplest of terms. I had just had a meeting with Bill the Friday before his passing at Well 12. So once again, he was just as amusing in person as he is virtually. So my thoughts and prayers go out to his family. The Woodbury Community Ambulance has scheduled a pet first aid training to be held here at Village Hall on June 1st. So I don't have a lot more details on that, but I'm excited to get that off the ground with the Woodbury Community Ambulance. Speaking of Woodbury Community Ambulance, I've appointed Sue Soriello to serve as liaison to the WCA. Her first job will be setting up our first responder recruitment, which she successfully accomplished last year for Woodbury FD Fire Department and Woodbury Community Ambulance. Now let me talk about my baby girl. So not everyone is blessed to have to be a father, and not everyone is blessed to be a father of a baby girl. Little princess to call his own. I am so blessed. Next week, my little lady turns 21. The notion that this little girl that I held so tightly as a baby was now a young woman just breaks my heart. Where did 21 years go, and now? And how do I stop and rewind? To make matters worse for this old man, meaning Mwa, I never knew how hard it would be to hand over my keys, my car keys. When asked by my baby girl, can I borrow the car, which she now has her own car. Same baby girl I strapped in and out of car seats, drove to events, and drove to friends' houses that she now does all on her own. So the thought that she may not need her dad anymore just takes me back. You know you're getting old when things hurt that you didn't know existed. You have more hair on your back than on your head, and you wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom countless times. But this, 21, I'm completely not prepared. I am very proud of the woman she has become. I, with an assist, and a small assist, I might say, from her mother, have raised a wonderful human being. Kind, thoughtful, and always the first to help others. I am very proud of her. So I just want to wish my baby girl, Elizabeth, a happy birthday, and your dad is very proud of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So, with no further business to discuss or comments received, can I have a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting of the Village Board will take place on April 11, 2024. Until then, Woodbury, be good to yourselves and each other. Good night.